have, if you've got a seat, a song sheet, because of course we're going to be outside, weren't we? So, but since I thought, well, I don't know why people worry about the rain, because we're made to be impermeable, aren't we? It doesn't leak through, so. But anyway, just I think maybe a bit much driving the car over the mud in the field in Wrecking Place. So anyway, so we're able to meet together, and of course we've had a fantastic time at Holiday Club this week, and we have of course invited all the youngsters that took part. We have lots of stuff as we go on about that. But I guess if we haven't got the youngsters actually here, we'll still be able to think about what we did this week, what the Lord's been saying to us, as we've had a really enjoyable week with the school, working with them, and I think those of us that have been there have learned a lot. There's going to be an opportunity for those of you that helped out to share a bit about that as we go on as well. So we're going to have some music. I thought, anticipating that we might not be flooded out with youngsters, I thought we'll still have a little bit of the action songs, but probably not quite as much as we had during the week, if that's okay. So we're going to start, if I get this to go the right way, in fact I'm just going to do it over here. You say what? Yeah. With one that you all know, the words will appear up there, but it is number 3 if you're using the sheets. So if you want to stand, that's great, and if you want to sit, that's equally fine. Did you notice, by the way, how things have moved on because we've got soft seats? Yes. So don't say we don't listen to the government and it's help with the relaxing restrictions. So that's right. And also we're around this way. There's some other things that we'll do. We're going to try out in the coming weeks as well. So that's great. So we'll start with a prayer, and then we're going to sing All Heaven Declares. Father God, as we meet together at the end of an exciting and exhilarating and in some ways tiring week with so many young folks, we do thank you for the blessing that they've been to us, and we hope that we've been to them. And so we celebrate today because you're here with us. You're amongst us as we meet together in your Son's precious name, by your Holy Spirit. Amen. And so today is really all about recognising who Jesus is. In fact, the whole week has been about recognising who Jesus is. You'll hear that when we come to the memory verse, for instance. But so we're going to recognise that all heaven declares the glory of the risen Lord. Let's see how loud it is or isn't. I might go over and adjust it.
The Lamb on the throne.
it's lovely to hear other people's voices when we're gathered in worship as well. It's something that we all miss, isn't it? So, this week we have been celebrating the Olympics today at St. Peter's, and we had 4 countries represented. And as the youngsters were here, when we mention the names, they have to go team whatever it is. So, I thought Molly was joining in there. So, which team were you with, Molly?
Team Brazil first day, and then Team Malaysia the second day.
Okay, so there's Team Brazil and Team Malaysia, and there was also...
Sheila.
Yeah?
Malaysia.
You were Malaysia.
You were with Malaysia one day. Anybody else remember the other ones?
It was India.
India.
Brazil.
No, we've had Brazil.
Brazil, India and
Kenya.
And Kenya. And so they get points for all sorts of different things as we were going through. So we'll hear how they get on, because we've got some awards for them. So what we're going to do is go into school and give them to them there. And just to explain a bit about what happened was this. We obviously had a lot of advertising. We encouraged folks through school, through things that were home, through Jolly Talks and through Messy Church, lots of things. But we didn't really have very many. I think we had about 6 or 7 youngsters that were registered. And then we let they were doing, the school was doing something as well. So I phoned the head and said, what were they doing? And he said, well, we've got funding to host a holiday club over 4 weeks, basically all day, for youngsters that have got access to free school meals. So I said, well, it's a bit of a long shot, Liz, but would you like us to come in 1 week and do the morning for you? So she didn't hesitate for a moment, she said that'd be great. So we rolled up. I'm sure the school must have wondered, what will this be like? But by it, there was all sorts of things happening during the week, and they really, really enjoyed it. So I'm sure there's the opportunity for working with the school going forward. I think that's a really exciting thing. One of the things that's happened maybe over the past 6 or 7 months is the idea of working in partnership with people in all sorts of different ways. The food bank is an example, if you like, all sorts of different things. And that seems to be the way that the Lord is guiding us. So there we are. That's good stuff. Now, one of the things we did each day was we had, just like we have on the BBC, although better than them, we had a sports anchor and we had an intrepid sports reporter. So we're just going to go and meet them just now. Okay? Well, good morning from Gallery on Sea, where we've got the Olympics today, and we've had fantastic events all week. Now, as you know, we have our intrepid online, on the spot reporter, our sports reporter, so I'm anchor, and our reporter is inquisitive. Now, some of you, I look around and I know that not all of you were there. So, I just want to remind you that there's some catchphrases that Ian uses. And they are, when he says unbelievable, we say
incredible.
And raise our hand, our right hand. And when he says incredible,
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
and which hand do we put up there?
Left.
Very good. And then occasionally he says, in my own words.
What else?
Yes, what else? And finally he says, what does he say?
If I'm not mistaken.
You remembered it last. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, and we say,
You usually are.
okay, right, so do remember as we go through. So, here we are, over to E-Inquisitive, and remember there's a time lag, so there's a bit of a delay in seeing them on the screen.
And really, he was just late again, yeah. He was every day.
Good morning. We have, in the next 45 minutes, the opportunity to continue our celebrations until the time comes for the Olympic flame to be extinguished. If I'm not mistaken,
You usually are.
here comes a local dignitary. I think, in fact, it's Stacey Archer. Yes,
Stacey Arthur.
Stacey Archer.
I think you're giving me the wrong thing, come on.
No, I know you're not on that. Written down.
Hang on, Patsy.
However, here we are, Stacey. She's been with us all the way along, and she's got some gifts that are going to be given to the children. So, do you want to show them? So as everybody sees what the
Okay.
what they're going to do.
What should we do? Well, they're going to get the usual medal every day this year. And then there are some gifts that we had up in the cupboard, Nicola had up in the cupboard from previous holiday clubs. So there's a selection of dinosaurs, jewellery, making things, and some games. Okay?
Well, that is absolutely incredible.
Unbelievable!
Well done, you were very good. It's very good indeed. So, we're going to see just exactly what the children were doing, and we're going to sing some songs. Now, we'll hand over to Stacey, who's going to give us some feedback.
Okay. Right. Okay then. So, the week went really, really well from our point of view. And the children did come back most days. There was, we started off with the fewest number on the Monday and the highest number on the Thursday, which was really, really good. And I'm sure that if they were sitting here now, they would be able to shout out, you know, what they got out of the week. But I thought it would be good, since they're not sitting there today, to maybe ask some of the people that helped, what was your kind of memory, maybe a memory that you have that can be funny or whatever, of the week when you were helping. So that's, hello Thomas.
You've come just in
Are you
time.
in the right place?
You are indeed correct. Thomas, do you want to come and sit down here? Yeah, very good. I'm glad you're here because I was just saying, Thomas, that none of the children have arrived. So you just arrived in time.
child then?
You're the one who's here to tell you that.
That makes it that special. Yeah.
There's a note on the parish field, isn't there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank
you very much, Thomas.
So Thomas, would you like to come with me? Yeah, and just, if you turn around, I'm not quite sure these people. No, you can look away if you want. Right, can you tell these people, what did you like about the holiday club when you came? Anything? Anything you liked? The guns, the Nerf gun. Oh, you mean the water gun? Yeah. Yes, I know why you're here today, Thomas. You want to squirt it, don't you? He was ill on Thursday. So he was, yeah. So we're just asking the helpers what they remembered. So would anybody like to tell me what they thought of the holiday club? The ones that helped?
Snacks.
Yes.
Snacks, oh yeah.
Snacks, aren't they?
Gone are the days when you gave children squash and biscuits. You now give them cucumber and peppers and bananas and apples.
Don't forget the rice cakes.
And rice cakes, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So, I think one of my favourite memory actually was the day that we did the scooters. We were balancing the scooters and we were using goalposts where the kids sat, and they had to, you know, like we had them lined up in teams like 1 to 9 and 1 to 9 on the other side, and we shouted out the number. They had to go right, get on the scooter, run round one, all the way down, round the other one, and back and sit down first to get a point. And there was a slightly bigger boy than Thomas here. We did basketball as well, we didn't we? It's good to remember now. So anyway, while we were doing this, there was a bigger boy who has got some special needs really, And his motor coordination wasn't so good, and he was incredibly slow. And so he was just kind of really getting on the scooter. That's good. He was halfway up, and our boy was nearly round and back up. His name is Lewis. And Lewis actually slowed down. And I was just so touched by that, because he realised that this other boy, it wasn't going to be a fair race, that one. And he slowed down, and he did still get home first, but he waited until this other boy made it round, and then both teams were cheering him on. And I thought, that's lovely, in a day when it's so competitive, that, you know, one child himself realised and actually adjusted his behaviour accordingly, which was brilliant.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
So when I've got my, right, Thomas, do you remember what my name is when I've got this on? And can you remember? No? Because that's Stacey Harper, right? I know this is a bit you like.
You like this?
And
what do you think I'm going to do?
so my name's Paul Volter.
I love doing this every day.
And I forget things, don't I, Thomas? And what do I forget sometimes? It's Paul Volter, I forget my...
What's he forgot?
Anybody notice what I've not got? I've got my pole, haven't I? And that's why Stacey after she should wait till I explain why that's going to happen. Right? But were you wanting to get a shot as well? Mm-hmm. Well, since Thomas here, you want a little shot? Yeah? Okay. Maybe you just help. Okay. Alright, anyway. So Paul that wasn't such a great idea, was it really? So
You did ask for that, did you?
I did. So that we wanted to let everybody meet Paul and Stacey and hear a bit about what we're doing. So, but what we are going to do is we're going to hear who won the competition. Now, which country were you with? You were with? I didn't quite catch.
Brazil one day, because he was in the league.
Okay. Oh yeah, you were with Brazil.
Right.
Okay. So we've got some things. Yeah. And then we're going to, with the help of the leaders, do a parade.
This was the team with Thomas. That was your team, wasn't it, Thomas?
And another day, me and my granddad and my sister had a water fight.
Did you?
Was that
you
you?
went home?
And I scored a big water bottle on my granddad's blanket, and then he fought in, and then I said my granddad said 40 wood.
I can see that you tend to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Thomas was in Brazil, and they had a lot of little ones in there, and they got 32 points.
well done.
Then the next team also had some younger children in it. They were in India, and they had 34 points. Then the team Malaysia, they had some older children in it who were good at answering the questions from the previous day, and they had 43 points. And then Kenya filled up the trophy actually, and had to go on to the next page, and they had, how many did they have? They had 49.
And my mum and daddy said they're going to get a medal today.
Oh, and indeed, you mentioned that
You
you're
are
quite
getting
right.
a medal. So we mentioned that. So Jim, do you want to give them his medal?
Right, so what we're going to do, well, you do that, but as we're doing it, we're going to play a bit of our theme tune, right? And if the leaders want to help, we'll have a bit of a parade, if it's okay with Thomas, and we'll walk round
Yeah,
as we
he's
go.
got,
Right?
he's got his thing there.
So,
You can walk, remember, you can walk around.
yeah, so
Yeah, you want to do that.
we're doing it to the theme tune, not Yeah.
Right, you will
Oh, big round of applause. One more run. Well done. Fantastic. So, the song that we just said, if you're listening to the words, it talks about God's making a team that's all God, big and small, and young and old. So, that was really good. So, well done, well done. And we had some stories as well. So, I think Stacey's going to just help us a bit with what we did with the quizzes.
Yeah, every day we had a quiz based on the story from the previous day, and we also had some facts about certain sports, which are...
Oh,
Great. So, the first day was volleyball, and the fact was...
we'll just do the quiz.
You just want to do the quiz bit, right? Okay, right. So the quiz bit, let's see if Thomas can remember any. Thomas, we did a story about Bartimaeus, didn't we? That man that wanted to see Jesus. What could he not do? He couldn't see. And what did Jesus do with him?
I can't remember.
Well, could he see at the end of it, or could he not see still?
I don't know.
He can't remember. Well, he could see. Jesus healed him, didn't he? And he was able to see. And then, on the first, that was the second story. On the first day, we had Jesus going to the fishermen, and there were 4 fishermen. Peter.
Well, let's see if any of the adults know who the 4 fishermen
They
might
don't
be.
help
My
him.
name's going to be Puppet Dog.
Oh, you've missed the puppets.
Well, we'll do some puppets for you.
Yeah,
Special puppets on
yeah.
for you.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, the puppets have been on, but they'll come on again a bit later for you then. So anyway, we had the story of them wanting to follow Jesus. Jesus called them by name, and then they had a choice. They could have walked away, but they decided to follow him, didn't they? Just like people who were on Jesus' team. And then we went up a big mountain. You hear that, Dave, from the mountain? Yeah? Jesus went up the mountain, and the disciples got a fright, didn't they? Because there was a big light, and they were terrified of it. And it was Jesus at the top. And then the one that you missed, Thomas, when you went to the Space Centre was, there was a story about a boat. And the fishermen were in the boat. And they were catching fish. And then there was a big storm. And it got really windy. Ooh, the wind howled, and the boat was going like this. And they were terrified because it got really dark.
And I went to my nanny upstairs.
Did you?
To see what the cat went to say.
Oh, right, okay. Well, these fishermen in this boat, they were terrified.
And the cat was scared too.
Was it? The cat was scared too.
There was one fighting, and then we went into the cat room called the Coast Guard.
Oh, really? There's a Coast Guard there. But there wasn't a Coast Guard in this story. And instead, they got even more frightened, these men.
And then
They're a bit scared.
the Coast Guard was angry at them, and then the Coast Guard told them the way home.
Okay, well on this boat, that's that story, but on this boat, the men that were very frightened because of the storm and the wind and everything, they thought they were going to drown. They saw what they thought was a ghost coming towards them, walking on top of the water. You bet you've never seen that, Thomas?
I know, at Halloween I dressed up of a spider.
Did you?
Right.
There was a spider there, the wind took it away.
Yeah, will we have a
Jim
song?
wants to move on.
I think we'll have a song.
Okay, Bobby.
I think we'll have a song. So you got that, so Thomas, along with lots of other,
Why not the children?
I think the rains put them off.
I think the rain took them off.
They had to come with the monster.
But we're going to have some special pockets just for you. No problem. Okay. So, so we're going to have a song which you'll know, Thomas, because it's the one that we normally did our Mark round to, which is the memory verse, which is from Mark 8, verse 29. The words are there, so the words won't appear on the screen because they're just on the sheet of paper. So,
If
I'm
Mark
just going to
should
get
be
it.
we can just sit and listen. You
I
might
think
know
we'll have
it.
that.
You might
I
know
think
it.
we'll have
And then,
Here we are.
Yeah, you Benjamin, not friend. Benjamin is, right there. Yeah.
I thought what we'll do now is we'd hear a bit about what follows on from being in Jesus' team. So, this is what we're going to do. I want you to look on your sheet on the second side. On the second side, you can see a picture. It's not incredibly well photocopied, yeah? But can anybody tell me what they can see? Can you see an animal on the picture? Hands up. Who can see? Well, let's just see, because we will give. Oh, so yeah, give one to Thomas. Let him see. Can you see an animal? Well, anybody else think? What do you see? A polar bear. Are your glasses? So, I think it's a frog, is indeed. You get full marks. Right, so you can see a frog, can't you? Yes, when you look closely. That's okay.
That's alright,
You can do it. So, you can see a frog, can't you?
Yeah.
You're absolutely sure you can see a frog now that I've said this there. Yeah. Can anybody see can you see a horse?
A horse?
Can you see a horse?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, have another look. See if you can see a horse. Now do this. side result.
Oh, yes.
This way up. You see the horse? You see the horse? How she's sitting? I'll wait for a minute. Catch up. Some not everybody sees things right away. Yeah. You know, sometimes what we see depends on our perspective. It depends on what we think is going to be there. So, because you all looked at it that way because it followed on from the words, didn't it? And it's only when somebody says, oh, what about doing that? And so sometimes we have things that are a bit difficult to see. And so we've been thinking all week about the team of Jesus and being with them and what it's like to be in it. But not everybody thought of Jesus as being the team captain. You know, Peter's they asked him, who do people say I am? That's what Jesus says to him. And he says, well, some people think you're a prophet, somebody who predicts the future. Other people think you're John the Baptist, who was sort of a recent leader. But who do you say I am? He said, you're the Messiah. That means the anointed one, the one that's special, the one that's picked by God. But not everybody thought that that was true. So we've got 3 very short readings, and we'll think about them. Do you want to just give us the first one, Nicola?
But Jesus said nothing. He did not answer. The high priest asked Jesus another question. Are you the Christ, the Son of the blessed God? Jesus answered, I am. And in the future you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right side of the powerful one. And you will see the Son of Man coming on clouds in the sky. When the high priest heard this, he was very angry. He tore his clothes and said, we don't need any more witnesses. You all heard him say these things against God. What do you think? They all said that Jesus was guilty and should be killed.
And so for us, you think, well, what on earth was he guilty of? But what he was guilty of from their perspective was that he seemed to be saying that he was God. And they thought, no one's equal to God. And that's what we call blasphemy. And the consequence back then was that he would be killed. And so, in a sense, that was when Jesus was told that he was going to be killed. And then some other people think something else. Let's take a look. Just a few verses.
Pilate asked the crowd again, so what should I do with this man you call the King of the Jews? They shouted, kill him on a cross. Pilate asked, why? What wrong has he done? But they shouted louder and louder, kill him on a cross. Pilate wanted to please the crowd, so he freed Barabbas for them. And Pilate told the soldiers to beat Jesus with whips. Then he gave Jesus to the soldiers to be killed on a cross.
And that sounds really terrible, doesn't it? Although we might not have really understood what was happening in front of the high priest. When we hear that Jesus is going to be crucified, we think, well, that must be terrible. And how cruel that must be. But they wanted a freedom fighter, somebody who was going to take them away from the Romans. And so everybody shouted for that. And then the third view is this.
Then Jesus cried in a loud voice and died. When Jesus died, the curtains in the temple split into 2 pieces. The tear started at the top and tore all the way to the bottom. The army officer that was standing there before the cross saw what happened when Jesus died. The officer said, this man really was the Son of God.
And here's the thing. It must have been really shocking for most of us if we were to see somebody hanging on a cross. But this Roman soldier was used to it. He saw it pretty much every day in life. But he could see there was something special about this man, Jesus. And so we've had a week that we've been thinking about being in a team. And it's great to be in Jesus' team. But for some folks, maybe they're more watching. They're like in the crowd. And they're thinking, I'd love to take part. Nicola was saying when we got together today, did anybody see the Olympic special this morning? And did you see Jason Kenny when he, what's it called, the Kieran?
Yeah.
Yeah? It was fantastic, wasn't it? But did you realise he broke all the rules? I don't mean the rules of the game, but he broke the conventions. Because there was a gap that shouldn't normally be there. From 3 laps out, normally they wait until the last lap, then they go as fast as they can. But there was a gap, and he just went for it. And for 3 laps, imagine 3 laps of pedaling as fast as you can, so as you feel as though you'll never be able to pedal again. And that's what he did. And it was something that was really different, and really unusual. And it was great to watch, but I wonder how many people think, oh, can I do that tomorrow? There'll be people that will start cycling tomorrow. I wonder how many people think, can I do that tomorrow? But as you listen to people through the week, that's exactly what someone said. I saw this in 2012 or 2008, and then I wanted to be like that. So you can watch or you can take part. And that's always the thing about following Jesus. You can watch or you can take part. We're going to have an extra puppet thing, because you missed the first one. And what we're going to do is, there's a great story in the Bible about when Jesus got a big crowd on a hill, and he's talking to them. But he talked a bit longer than I am, and so they talked right up to lunchtime. So everybody said, what are we going to do? We've got all these people here, and we've got nobody to feed them. What on earth are we going to do? And it's a song all about that, right? So. Nicola, can you just do the down arrow in a second? Right, oh. You got it?
Down arrow.
Yeah.
When they went out, well, they went to hear the Lord, and as the day went on, the crowd just grew and grew. When they went out, there were 5,000 hungry men, and lots of hungry women, and their children too. So they Peter, well, they went up to the Lord and said, these folks are hungry, but we have no food. But you know what? They were just about to see the mighty things that God can do. But Jesus fed 5,000 men with women and kids. There were thousands more. Yes, He's the one who fed 5,000 men with 5 loaves, 2 fish, and that's all. So they
Right, so it was good to be able to have somewhere little people are the ones that do something for Jesus, isn't it? So there we are. We're going to have one more song and then give a blessing and we'll be able to say goodbye. Okay, so I'm just going to think what song we've got. It is what? So maybe number 5? Okay.
Jesus, you're my King, Lord of everything, reigning in my heart. So do I sing. Jesus, you're my Lord, and in truth you are. So to you my praise, I will gladly bring, and I love you, Lord, how I love you, Lord, yes I love you, Lord, with all my heart. Jesus, may I be all you want for me. Own you as my Lord, gladly I will need. Jesus, for you are, I will tarry near. Coming in your glory, may I live to see. And I love you, Lord, how I love you, Lord. Yes, I love you, Lord, with all my heart. Jesus, if I may, here I'd like to stay, lost with you in love, as I am today. Jesus, hear my cry, may this passion longing to be near, never more to stay. And I love you, Lord, how I love you, Lord. Yes, I love you, Lord, with all my heart. And I love you, Lord, how I love you, Lord. Yes, I love you, Lord, with all my heart.
So if we remain standing, we'll have the blessing. May God give you the strength to keep going, the determination to pass on, the courage to face the pain, the ability to hear His voice, and the willingness to train hard, so that at the end of the race, you may receive the winner's medal. Amen.
Amen.
How is it? It wasn't well, I'm afraid.
No,
Was it